So you have a model car. It's 10 feet long and the model is 10 inches long. A lot of y'all got confused on this one on the paper because it says, what is the ratio of the car to the length of the model? Actually, I think it might have been the next one y'all got confused on. So the length of the car, since it names it first, that's the one you have to start with. So what is the length of the car? The car is 10 feet long. I'm going to write that down for just a second. So let's write 10 feet. And then the length of the model is what?
10 inches.
10 inches. So now what we need to do though is convert them. So how much is the length of the actual car? How would you figure out?
12 inches in a foot.
So you're going to multiply, right?
10 by 12.
10 by 12. So if I do that,
You get 120.
let me put some paper up here. Then you get 120 inches to 10 inches. Or if you want to write it as a fraction, you can. That might be easier. So what is it?
12 to 1.
12 to 1. So that one is in that order, so your answer was A on that. Okay? Number 2, you've got the Sears Tower in Chicago is 1,450 feet high. The model tower is 24 inches. Read your question, because I'm not sure which one of these would be on there. It says, what's the ratio of the height of the model? So they do the model first. Which one's the model?
24 inches.
24 inches. So I'm going to write that. To the height of the actual tower, which is 1450 feet. All right, now
Convert.
we're going to, this one's in inches. Let's multiply that one also by what? 12. Yeah, the inches, the 12 inches, to see how many that's going to be. What is 1,450 times 12? I have no idea. That is 17,400. So if you were to do 24 over 17,400, math enter, it's 1 over 725. Or how they would write it, 1 to 725. It was A. Some people got B. The reason was because you just, when you read through it, you just assumed to write this one first. You got to read what it's asking. Are we good with those? Just reduce. All right, you change them both to inches and then reduce your fraction. Okay, let's keep going. Number 3. Okay, this one you've got red bricks and gray bricks, and they tell you it's a 5-to-2 ratio. All right, and then they tell you have a total of 224. You use the ratio. There's not 5 red bricks and 2 gray bricks because that adds up to 7, right? There's 5. Like as the ratio, 5 times however many there were to 2 times however many there were equals 224. Or not however many there were, like something with the ratio. What is 5x plus 2x?
7x.
7x equals 224.
Divide by 7.
Divide by 7. What is 224 divided? And I think I went through this one Friday. So that's 32. Now, 32 is not your answer. I know it's up there, right? So some of y'all already select 32. It says how many red bricks were used.
32 times 5.
It goes with whichever one of those represents the red bricks in my ratio. Okay, it's 5 times 32. So I put that in my calculator. We get 160. Okay, any questions so far? Y'all, this quiz is very doable tomorrow. All right, you have to make sure you understand. So if you don't understand right now, now's the time to tell me. Does anybody not understand any of those yet? We can handle that? Okay. And like there's probably several of these that we set up the same way on the ratios. It's just 5x plus 2x equals that number. And then solve for x. Plug it in. All right. Let's see this one. Same thing. Okay, this one says you have complementary angles. What are complementary angles? What do they add up to? 90. Supplementary adds up to 180. Complementary, that's just something we have to know. It's going to add to 90. So the same thing I just said. We have a ratio. 1 and 5. So I'm going to put 1x and what's my other one? 5x equals, and again I had to know what is complementary? 90. So let's add those two things together. What's 1x plus 5x? 6x equals 90. Then what? How do you solve that? 90 divided by 6. So x is 15. Now, a lot of people instantly want to look for 15 as their answer, but let's plug it in and see. Okay? You have 15 times 1, that is 15. And then you have 15 times 5, which is obviously going to be 75. Does everybody understand? Y'all, what of these adds up to 90? You can probably, not all of them add to
15
90.
and 75.
B and D are not even going to add up to 90. You can already tell that's not my answer. Those are those add to 180. So it's either A or C.
It's A.
And it is A. Questions on that one? We've got this. Okay. For your paper, as soon as I'm done with it, I'll try to go through and grade them and give them back and print y'all something else. But if you want to come back by today to get your paper from me, you can. So I will have them graded. It just may take a little while. All right. Number 5. It's the exact same thing. All right. It says you have the length and the width of a rectangle is 3:1. The perimeter of the rectangle is 40. What is the length of the rectangle? On this one, though, let's see. Did y'all do this 2 times? Let me see something.
You just do it the same way as the top.
Yeah, I was just saying, I didn't know for perimeter. All right. Let me make, and I'll make sure. If I have 3x plus 1x, and I'm going in the same order, this is the length, this is the width, 3:1. Order matters here. And it says the perimeter is 40. I'm going to make sure I agree with that in a second. So I get 4x equals 40, then what?
Divide by 4, which is 10.
X is 10, and then you would plug it. It says, what is it asking for? What is
length.
the length? It is
3
So it'd be
times
30.
10.
That doesn't. I guess so. Is that what I told y'all the answer was the other day? That's just really weird.
I think it's just done the same way, except it's just length and width.
I'm gonna make sure that's the right answer.
But then the perimeter would be 80.
I don't even have that one on there. Yeah, like that doesn't even. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make sense on that one. This one's not on there, but I got, what number is that? 5. I also got D. What does that give us? That gives us A. Does anybody see the problem with this one? On all these, we'll set it up that way. This one is not on the quiz. You're saying that the length would be 30. Y'all, if I add 30 and 30 and 10 and 10, is that going to equal 40? No. So what if the perimeter is 40, what I would do, I think the easiest way to solve this, if I'm only dealing with one length and width, I'm going to take my perimeter and half that. Does that make sense? I'm only going to go one length and one width. So that would be 20. This one's not on the quiz. But then I would get 4x equals 20. This makes sense. X is 5. Plug that in. What's 5 times 3?
15.
15, which is also an answer. It's actually the answer. Okay? Because if I added 15 and 15 and 5 and 5, that does give me a perimeter of 40. Okay? The other one was way too much. Again, this one's not on the quiz. It's wasn't circled on my paper. So that one was a little bit more difficult. Kind of had a trick to it. Okay. This one, all right, another one of these. So many of these. It says you have 3 angles. All right. Their ratio is 3, 4, 5. What's the measure of the smallest angle? What do the angles in a triangle add up to? 180. So we already said complementary angles add up to 90. We did that earlier. All 3 of these angles are going to add up to 180. So we just write these numbers each with an X. okay? 3x and 4x and 5x, and it equals 180. What is 3 plus 4 plus 5? 12x equals 180. Then what do I do?
Are you just going over the ones on our quiz, or are you going on?
I'm just going over all of them. What do you do on this one?
Divide by 12.
Divide by 12, because I think we just need to practice.
Yes.
Because especially for those that haven't been here. What does x equal? What is 180 divided by 12? It is 15. Now let's see what it's asking for, because you have to go back in. What's the measure of the smallest angle? Which one of these do you think would be the smallest? Where I multiply by 5, 4, or 3? 3, the smallest number. What is 3 times 15? 45. There's your angle. Okay. Number 7. Okay, this one, you have a proportion, so you cross multiply. So we get 12a equals, what is 36 times 3? 108. Then what do? Divide. You cross multiply and divide. Divide by 12, so you get 9. That's all you do on that one. Your answer is 9. D. Do y'all remember doing those? Yes, we're good with that. Cross multiply, 3 times 36. Doesn't matter what side you write it on. 12 times a. And then divide by 12. Okay. Next one. Number 8, same thing. Okay, let's cross multiply. So 21 times 2. Doesn't matter what side we write it on. That's 42. And then 3 times m. 3m. Then what do? Divide by 3. What is 42 divided by 3? Anybody? 42 divided by 3. Is it 14?
Yes, 14.
That's what I think it is. 14. Okay. Alright, next one. Let's see, number 9. Alright, this one, I don't know. I don't think this one's on there, but I'm still going to go over it because so many of y'all had trouble with these. I'm just going to try and make it to where you can see it good. Okay. This one goes back to Algebra 1, which has like where you did FOIL method, which kind of goes back to factoring. Y'all, several of y'all are probably taking ACT in March here. So that's some stuff that, like, if you don't remember that, like, it's random stuff on the ACT. So if you have a practice book, you might want to go over that. Something I found that seniors are having trouble with is like point slope form, slope intercept form, because it's been a while, right? But that's basic Algebra 1. So anyway, if you're taking ACT, you might want to grab like a little review book and go through some of those things. This is also something you would probably want to review. So when we cross multiply, notice this first diagonal here, it's not just one little thing to multiply. That's several things. So I'm going to write it like that. You know how we use parentheses to represent multiplying a lot of times? So it's all of this times all of that. It's a lot to it. That's the FOIL method. This one is 3n times n minus 5. I don't have several things, so I don't really have to put that one in parentheses. It's just that one term. This one has 2 terms, right? So now it's distribute or FOIL. It's first, outer, inner, last, okay? And then it goes back again to like chapter 7 in Algebra 1. What's n times 3n? 3n squared. You have to remember to add those exponents, okay? It's a lot, I know. Then n times 1 is n. Negative 6 times 3n is negative 18n. And negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Okay, then you multiply this one. Again, you get 3n squared, and then 3n times, that's a 5. That's minus 15n. Okay, combine like terms. combine like terms over there. Now, if I subtract my 3n squared, this is nice because it goes away, which means there's no factoring involved. Okay, then what do?
You add 17.
Yeah, you're gonna combine your ends. So we're gonna add 17. So you get -6 equals 2, oops. Forgot to write my 2. 2n. Divide by 2. So I get n is -3, which is answer choice A. That one was a lot. That one's not on the quiz, but it is a very good review for FOIL method and solving and proportions. It's a lot. Okay? Do y'all kind of remember some of that? If you were here Friday, we went over that one. All right? So you should be good to go on one like that. The next one, I think that's more like what's on the quiz. All right, let's see. This one, when we cross multiply, okay, when we cross multiply, we get 5 times 3y, that's 15y. 5 times 8 is 40, and then 12 times y is just 12y. Okay, I didn't set, did y'all need me to set it up since there weren't multiple things other than this one right here? I didn't set it up like the last one. So then I would just move my 15y. Normally I would move my 12y, but then there's nothing over there. So I'll just subtract 15y from both sides. So I get -3, and then I'll divide by -3. So y equals, if I type that in my calculator, let me see what fraction, what decimal it gives me. It would give me 13.3 repeated. Do you see that answer? No, because they left it in fraction form. Notice the 40 is over the 3, which looks like what? D. But if you press math enter, it's also going to tell you it's 40 over 3. It's not 3 over 40. Okay, the 40 is actually being divided by the 3. The negatives would cancel each other out. Are y'all good with that one? Yes. Okay. Is this easy so far? We're good with it? Yeah? Okay. Number 11. Okay, let's see. It says, what's the equivalent proportion? So this one, they just want us to see like kind of what changes. If they had A over B is 4 over 13, they changed it. They put A over 4,
So it'd be over 13.
so it would be B over 13. They just moved those. They just want you to see what moved, what changed, what swapped places. That one's B over 13. Okay, then we have, all right, this one right here, and it says, what are the pairs of congruent angles? All right, all you have to do is go through, and this one is showing that it's on the quiz. What does angle R match?
Angle D.
Angle D. So I would be like, okay, check, check, check on those. Okay, what does angle Q match?
Angle C.
Angle C. So that one matches and that one. All right, and then let's keep going. T and B. Let's see. I don't think that one didn't match, and this one won't work. All right, what did I say? T and B. It's not that one, so it has to be what?
D.
This one. Okay. So anyway, you're just going through and matching the angles. I've got one like that. Everybody good with that? Yes. No. That one is on there. Okay, then I have, this one is a little confusing. I don't know if this one's on there or not. I have it done on my other paper, but it's not marked. The only thing that's confusing is figuring out what way they set it up. So let's just say, let me put 4 with 12. Alright, if I put 4 over 12, then what do I have to do over here? The same order. 8 over 24. Do I see a 4 over 12 with an 8 over 24?
No.
That does not match it, so it's not an answer. Okay, but that one's not set up, so let me go the other way. Let me try 12 over 4. What would I set that one up with?
24.
24 over 8. Do I see that one?
Yes. It's B.
Yes, it's right here. Okay, it's not that one. See how order matters? If that one wasn't on there, then maybe I need to do 4 over 8 equals 12 over 24. You're just trying to match them. Do we kind of get that? Like, just see what order matches. Perfect. That one's the only one that was set up right. If I did 12 to 4, then I have to do 24 to 8. Okay, like this one, if I can't even match 12 and 8 together. Does everybody understand that? 12 and 8 are not matching sides. So that cannot even go together. All right, moving along. We're getting through this quick. Okay, this one says, complete the statement. Y'all, I had some people get this one wrong completely on this paper. Or it was on your worksheet or some paper. All right, what does angle H go with?
Angle B.
Like, just look at it. Angle H matches angle B. So I'm going to put angle B right there. Okay? You can also tell right here, H and B go together. Okay? Or just look at the picture. What does, okay, this one says, all right, GH goes with, sorry, GH, and they did it to DJ. So AB goes to
DC.
DC. Okay? So you were kind of matching the bottom of the small one with the bottom of the big one. Do we kind of get that? Okay. I can see how this DC would have been a little confusing, but all right. The next one, let's see. It says, is this one on there? I do have this one is on there. I have both of these as being on there. I think. Okay, it says, are these similar? If so, give the scale factor. So notice all my answers. What triangle do they want me to start with? RST. So I'm going to start with these numbers and then go to these numbers. So 10 to 12, let me put that. 10 with the 12, and then what? 15 with the 18. And why does that angle matter? It's 32. I don't know that we've really gotten into this much. I think we'll get more into it as we go through the chapter. But that's like side angle side. Do y'all remember that? If my sides are proportionate and the angle between them are the same, then it's by side angle side, they're going to be similar. Kind of goes with something we've learned before. So what is 10 over 12? What does that reduce to? Divide them both by 2.
5 over 6.
Okay, does this also reduce to 5 over 6?
Yeah.
Divide them both by 3. And it is 5 over 6. So yes, and it's 5 over 6. Now, 2 of these have that answer. Do you notice that? They both have 5 over 6. This one says, okay, RST, if I start here and go up from R to S to T, what should I do for my other one? Where should I start? UVW, which is actually B, okay? So you want to make sure that you go in the right order. It's 5 over 6, and that you go in the right order.
So you just reduce
So-
your fraction?
Yeah, you just compare the sides that match, 10 with 12 and 15 over 18. Type it in your calculator, math enter. It's going to give you 5 over 6. But then you have to go in the same order. RST, UVW. Okay? Order matters on all this. How are we feeling about this so far? Okay? Somewhat? Maybe? Alright, let's keep going. So I believe that one's on there. I don't think 16 is. I'm doing okay on time.
Got 2 minutes left.
I'm looking at the clock. I'll skip that one. I'm gonna skip 16 because 17 is just like it. Okay, so I'm gonna skip 16, 17. This one's actually weird. I think for some of y'all, we talked about this and I gave y'all, was it the wrong answer at first? Because I didn't compare them. But we'll compare them. On number 17, notice that the corners, like this one's turned sideways. Okay, so what we did, is this the same as y'all's? Or this is y'all's, isn't it? Okay, mine, I think I'm thinking about the worksheet. It was different numbers. So let's see. 7 goes with what? What does 7 go with? 1.8. Okay, now let's see real quick. What does 14 go with? The 5.4. So I'm thinking, all right, I think it's going to be this one right here. If they are similar, I must first make sure they're similar. Okay, so what is 7 divided by 1.8? Anybody? It's 3.8 repeated. 14 divided by 5.4 is not the same thing. So are they proportionate? No. I think the other day when we all were working on it, some of us forgot to check that, right, to see if it was proportionate. Or it might have been on the worksheet. This one is that they are not similar. Because the proportions aren't the same. Okay, so there's one like that on there. And number 18, I believe. Yep, number 18. I like this one too. Okay, so it says the polygons are similar, so we can we can make a proportion. All right, and we're going to find x. Do I need y? Some of y'all found y. I don't even need that. It's not asking for it, so don't worry about finding y. We're going to set up the x minus 1. What does that need to be set up with? What'd you say? 6? Yeah. The x minus 1 and the 6 match. Okay, now let's find another matching pair. All right, what else matches?
16 and 12.
Okay, 16 and 12. If you didn't want to use 16 and 12, what could you have used?
32.
32 and 24. Okay, you could not have used the y. It's missing something, so you don't want to use something that's missing. So I would also pick 16 over 12. Everybody good with that? Now it's back to like one of those other problems we did earlier. Cross multiply. 12 times all that. 12x minus 12. What is 6 times 16? Anybody? 96? Okay, then what do we do?
Combine plus 12.
Yep, we're going to add 12 to both sides. So 12x equals 108. Then what? Divide by 12. What was 108 divided by 12? Did we do that already?
Mm-hmm.
What is 108 divided by 12?
9.
9. I'm trusting it. 9. So x is 9. That's all they wanted me to find. Okay? Are we good with that? Yep. I'm hoping y'all are going to do great on this. Do I need to do number 19, or are we okay if I don't do that one?
Can you back up to 17?
Yes.
And like explain?
Yes. So, do you understand that the 7 goes with the 1.8? First of all, you do, because those are the matching. They're saying, okay, turn that corner up. So 7, write it like this: 7 over 1.8. If this is easier, write it as fractions. Okay. What does the 14 go with? 5.4. The first thing we need to do is make sure that those are the same thing. Since it's already a decimal, let me just divide. What is, I think I've got it in there, right here. Notice if I divide 7 by 1.8, I get 3.8 repeated. If I divide 14 by 5.4, for those to be proportionate, it must also be 3.8 repeated. Is it? So they are not similar. They had to be proportionate. Does that make sense? All right.
So you just like divide?
You just divide them. Normally, if I would get, like, okay, let's pretend that I had 12 over 6 and let's just do 2 over 1. Isn't that the same thing? So see how those proportions are equal if they divide. I can't tell since these have decimals if they're equal. So let me divide them and see. Well, they weren't. So that's why it's not
So it'd be
proportional.
A.
So it would be A. That one, they're not similar. Okay, 19 is not on. Let me make sure. No, it's not on there. Okay. So I'm going to skip 19. Are we good? Do you need to write anything else down, Lily? You're good? Okay. Yo, what I'm going to try to do, because I've got 10 minutes, if I can just, I'm going to go through the ones that are on there, and then I'll try and grade these real quick. Y'all might just come see me after break or after the next class, though, to grab them. All right, the next one I'll do is number 21. I'm just skipping around now. 21, it says, oh, you're just finding your variable. All right, same thing we've been doing. How do y'all want to set this up? Lots of different ways.
You can do 12 over 38.
Okay, very good. You can do 12 over 38 because those are matching sides. 12 over 38. It equals, and let's go in the same order, with 3 over x. So now we cross multiply. So we get 12x equals, what is 38 times 3? I do not know. 114. Then what do we do?
Divided by 12.
Divide by 12. And x is 9.5. There's our answer. Okay. Let's see what next one I have. I'm going to do 22 and 23. And that might be all of them. Yeah, I'm going to do 22 and 23.
What was the last one?
There's 2 on the back, but I think that's what's on the quiz. There are 15 questions on the quiz. It's more than normal, but I'm hoping you'll get more points. Y'all, if you don't understand some of this, please watch. I made the video, so please watch it
You still?
tonight. Huh?
Are you still?
I'm still recording. Last 2 problems. Okay, you have a scale. They give you a scale. This one's different. I do not need to change any of the things that they give me. I'm not changing centimeters to feet or feet to centimeters. Okay, I'm just using their scale. They are telling me 1 centimeter and 10 feet. What's the next bit of information they give me? 2.1 centimeters. Where do centimeters go? Up top. So I'm going to be consistent and write that up top. If they give me 2.1 centimeters, y'all, what am I missing? X what? What's my measurement? Feet. Okay, does everybody see that? Centimeters are up here, what's down here? Feet. I don't know X amount of feet. Okay, so let's cross multiply. That would just be 1x. What's 2.1 times 10? 21. Okay, so 21 what? Feet. That's answer C. Do we understand that? You'll have to know what dimension you're looking for. Are you looking for centimeters or feet? What measurement? Okay? What was missing over here? Centimeters up top, feet are in the bottom. Obviously, it's the feet that are missing. Okay? And then the last one, are the 2 triangles similar? How do you know? If you know, all I know here are angles, no sides. That means I know none of these sides. It's either C or D because I only know 2 of the angles. So let's see if they are going to be similar. How do you find this missing angle? I know these 2. Yeah. So let me do 180 minus 60 minus 53. And it tells me that this angle is 67.
So it's gonna be the same.
If this angle is 60 and this angle is 67, by the angle or the third angle, I know the other one's going to match. So which answer is that? C. Do y'all understand that? Now, if this gave me, let's just pretend that it gave me 57, would those be similar? No. Those angles are not going to add up to be the same or to be 180. I can't get that. I guess it went away now. Okay, so this one was 67, so yes, by angle. Okay. Now, I hope y'all feel really good about this quiz. Yes, kind of. Okay,